Okay. Oh, hi. I'm JP Tong. I'm now at Kechara Forest Retreat, and welcome to today's Thursday Paranormal Tales. Today we have Sharon here again with us because she has a lot more stories that you're going to share with us, especially about about you when you were working with an airline and you were traveling as an air stewardess, right? But before we start, we will wait for a few seconds for everyone to tune in. Okay, so let's see who's here. Yeah, I didn't know that we have went live, so I startled a bit. So sorry if I startled you as well. Okay, let's see who's here. Hi Cochran, hi Aaron, good evening. Hi Pastor Shin.
Hello everybody.
Yes, so I was looking at the comments section, and they were all very fascinated with your stories. Yeah, so but she has more stories tonight, so if you have friends whom you think are going to enjoy it and be scared from it, ask them to quickly tune in now. Okay. Hi Nancy. Hi Batku. Hi Anne. Hi King Hoy. Hi Emily. Hi Iman. Hi Jillian. Okay, so yeah,
The
the
meditation
meditation
gang are
the
here.
meditation
Hello.
team are here. Yes, and you used to join us in our meditation class too, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So they are here. Okay. All right, so let's start. So, you were flying quite a bit, right? When this was like what, more than 15 years ago?
I was flying between the year 1996 right up to 2001.
Uh-huh.
I did a year domestic flights, and then the rest of the time we did I did wide body, which is actually international routes.
Routes, okay.
Yeah, and in the airline we had many stories about hotels. And,
Yeah, because you fly over the world and you're constantly living in hotels, right?
out of our suitcase.
Out of
yeah.
suitcase. So
Yeah.
you told me that there's one incident in Taipei.
Actually, the Taipei hotel is like a legend among the crew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because this hotel used to be a mental hospital. So
Wow, okay.
yeah,
That's
the first time I went to this hotel, what struck me as I initially thought the architecture was out of this world, but then after I discovered it used to be a mental hospital, then everything made sense, because the hotel was like hospital kind of rooms. That means there's rooms just one side, and then in the middle there's like empty space kind of thing. So anyway, there's many stories in this hotel. It's famous, so famous that each time we have to go to this hotel, fly into Taipei, most of the time the girls especially will want to share a room because nobody there to sleep alone.
Okay.
It's that scary.
Wow.
Yeah.
But why didn't you complain to your company? To not let you stay there.
I guess maybe they had a contract. I'm
Okay.
not sure. So
All right.
yeah.
So tell us what happened.
Okay. One day, I remember I was sleeping alone.
Okay.
I don't know whether I was stupid, crazy, or just So I was sleeping that night. I was really tired, and halfway when I was sleeping, I heard the shower turning on. Initially, I thought it was my neighbor taking a shower,
Right.
and then as I listened, it sounded like it came from my bathroom, because the bed was just beside the bathroom. It really sounded like somebody was turning it on.
Okay.
So I was like, let me just go and have a look and see. I mean, part of me was quite scared, but part of me wanted to see whether there's really something there.
Okay.
Curious as well. So I went to the bathroom. I opened the curtain. There was nobody there.
So even when you walked into the bathroom, you heard the shower.
I didn't hear the shower after I walked in.
Uh-huh.
But as soon as put my head on the pillow again. I wanted to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I had the shower again. And I was like, oh my goodness, don't tell me it's going to be like this the whole night, because I was like exhausted and I had an early flight tomorrow, the next day. So I went in again. There was nobody. And after, it went on for a while.
Yeah.
Until finally I just said out loud, I said, please leave me alone. I just want to rest. I'm not here to disturb you. I need to sleep because I have an early flight tomorrow, you know. And then I somehow fell asleep.
Okay.
Yeah. That was one of the milder cases. It used to, I think when my seniors were flying, this
Okay.
was related to me by my seniors. They used to have interconnected rooms at the higher floor.
Okay.
So one day, I think there was about like 5 or 6 rooms that was interconnected.
Yeah.
So they all, usually the crew rooms are like, we are near each other. So that set of crew, they actually open all the doors, the connecting doors to each other's room, because they were actually quite scared. Then as they were sleeping that night, apparently, for some reason, all of them woke up at the same time, and they saw this Chinese funeral procession gliding in the air from one room to the other, and they freaked out.
Wow.
And everybody was so scared, they all crammed into one room and slept there. And after that, they actually complained to the hotel. Those rooms were never opened again, and we were given other rooms instead.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
really freaky.
I know.
There was a funeral procession floating.
Yes, correct. It was like scary. And
So
then
what? So they actually heard.
they saw.
They saw and they heard,
I don't know whether they heard anything
but
or
they all
not.
saw,
Yeah,
saw together.
This was stories told by my seniors, and it came down to us, and that's how it fed into our fear, you know. And even my housemate, she had an experience as well. My housemate
In the same hotel.
Same hotel.
Okay.
She was sleeping in this room. She was sharing with another of the stewardess.
Yes.
So Ita said, her name is Norita, so she was telling me that, you know, halfway through the night she woke up, she heard nails scratching on the headboard. The headboard was made of wood, and the sound of the nails scratching on the headboard, like, really freaked her out. It's so scary. And then she started reciting her Quran and her prayers, you know, and it stopped. And then once she stopped, the scratching started again. And it went on and on until she was like so tired. And then for some reason, the person she was sleeping with started snoring really, really loudly. Not like a girl kind of snoring, but it was a strange kind of snore. And that freaked her out as well. Can you imagine you're sleeping with somebody and then suddenly they snore, like, oh my god. So she was like so scared the whole night, right? But finally, I think due to exhaustion and all that, she just finally fell asleep because she forced herself to sleep, you know. Yeah, so that was Taipei Hotel.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's freaky. Well, I guess we're not going there.
I don't think I ever want to go
back.
there again. No way.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Then after that, you had an experience in Johor Bahru, which is a
yeah.
city in the south of Malaysia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Johor Bahru, this hotel is known as well for its happenings.
Why is that? Do you know?
Because there's this particular 1 or 2 rooms that had friends, and somehow we will get that room. Some of us get the room.
Well, I guess it's because they couldn't rent it out,
Maybe. I
right?
don't
So they
know.
must have just rent it out to your airline.
Yeah, maybe, you know, at a discounted rate.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, right? So this happened to my housemate again.
Okay.
2 of them. They were on the same flight. So she went to the room, and then as soon as she opened the door, she heard, because the wardrobe was near the door, she heard like the hangers moving in the wardrobe, making noises.
Okay.
And then she was like, oh my god, what is that? happened that my guy friend, who's our housemate as well, was with her. And then they opened the wardrobe to see what was happening, and they felt this gush of energy, wind coming out. And then this friend of mine, my male housemate, actually chased and wanted to look where this thing went, but unfortunately he didn't see where it went.
Okay.
Yeah. So she was quite scared. I think she was very scared. So she did not sleep in the room.
Okay.
She slept in the lobby. That
No,
poor
poor
girl. Yeah,
And she
because
didn't-
it was a very short flight. Sometimes we
Okay.
have this short flight.
Yeah.
It's like you reach like what 9, 10, and then you leave like 6 or 7 the next day. You just
Okay.
go for a very short sleep kind of thing. So she was at the lobby the whole night because she was just too scared to sleep in her room by herself.
Oh, so
Yeah.
so when you guys fly, you don't share rooms, right?
No, we are given one room
Each
each.
person.
Yeah. So, but if we want to share, it's perfectly fine.
I see.
Yeah. And personally, for me in that hotel, I've stayed there I think once or twice. Thank God. One of the times I was still a junior flight attendant, and I was assigned to this particular room, which was a bit strange. When I went in, I didn't have a very good feeling, but because I was thinking I don't want to change room, because we had to walk like a really long way from the reception area to the rooms.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, oh, maybe it's just for a few hours. I'm just gonna tough it out, you know. So after a shower, I jumped into bed, and halfway through the night, it got really, really hot. Then I went to adjust, and then I think I normally don't put too low, so it's like maybe 24, 25. The next moment, before I knew it, it was freezing cold, like 16 or something. I'm like, this is so strange. And then when I put it up a little bit, then I was looking, how can it be so cold when it's only like what, 24, 25?
Yeah.
So I pushed it up to maybe 26, 27, and it became like extremely, extremely hot. I was sweating.
Okay.
So I woke up again.
Okay.
So it went hot, cold the whole night. I couldn't sleep again, and I was like, towards the end, frustrated. I was like, please leave me alone. I need to wake up early tomorrow, you know. Then I somehow fell asleep. Or yeah, then the next day when I asked the receptionist, and
Yeah.
they did say that room is not so clean. I was
see.
like, oh my goodness, why did I get assigned to that, you know? Apparently there was no other rooms.
I see.
Yeah, it wasn't very fun.
Okay. Well, okay. So there are some spirits who like to play around with the air conditioning units.
Correct, yeah.
And okay. Then your other experience in Bintulu, which
Actually,
is in
this Bintulu one was, it happened to my pilot friend.
okay. By the way, Bintulu is a place in Sarawak.
Sarawak,
which
yes,
is
it's
East
a
Malaysia.
small town in Sarawak.
Okay.
And yeah,
So
so
what
this
happened there?
this pilot friend of mine, one day after his flight to Bintulu, he did tell us, because there used to be a bunch of us who used to hang out, you know, together, and he related to us. He said, you know, when I was sleeping,
Yeah.
and suddenly the TV just turned on. It had that white, you know, in those days, after the telly is
It's like the movie The Eye. Yeah.
So he was like, he couldn't move. He was like stuck there, you know, and he couldn't scream, he couldn't move, he couldn't do anything.
What he was paralyzed.
Yeah, he was paralyzed, and he was like, I thought I turned off the TV. I was sure I turned off the TV, and he was like, he couldn't move. And then he decided to say his prayers, and after a while,
Do you know what prayers he did?
he's a Muslim.
He's Muslim. Okay, so he did his Muslim prayers.
Yes. After a while, then suddenly he could move,
Okay.
and he woke up, and he turned off the TV, and then I don't think he managed to get much sleep that night. Yeah, that hotel is known for friends.
Wow. So that
Yeah.
I've not experienced.
Yeah,
I think that would be freaky because I watched the movie The Eye. So I would be anticipating, something crawling out
Oh my
of the
gosh.
TV, with that bzzz, that thing.
Yeah.
It's
Oh my
always the
gosh.
movies that freak me out. Just like when in one of my episodes I said that I saw the only spirit that I saw that freaked me out, and it wasn't freaky. It was just a Chinese lady with long hair and a white gown. I mean, it's just like in the movie. So that freaked me out. But you compare it to other. I mean, it's just that so happened that it's just a Chinese spirit with a white, white robe, whatever, like those white robes.
I don't know. When I was a kid, those Chinese horror movies just scare me to death for some reason,
Yeah, because it's sensationalized.
Yeah.
So, so it plays in our mind, and that's what happens. So, I wonder, right? Can you imagine if you actually... Well, anyway, TV nowadays don't have that that effect,
no
right?
more
If it
really.
ever does, something's not right.
You better run.
You'd be like, No, now we know better.
Now
See,
we'll
now we
burn
know
protector
better.
rice. Burn the protector knot. Yeah. Chant
Really?
Chant your mantras.
Chant your mantras.
Yeah,
I think
your
that's
dukar.
that's good enough. Chant your mantra, because you don't want to set your room ablaze on fire, because you'd be freaking out,
Yeah.
right? So I think best is to
Chant
do
your
your
mantra.
to do your prayers, whichever faith you're from, as long as you do your prayers with the intention of blessing the being. I think that's very good. Yeah. Oh, that's a freaky one.
Yeah,
That's a
that one
freaky
freaked us out, and we were so glad that the girls, the stewardess and the
Yes.
stewards didn't have to, stay in that hotel. Only the pilots had to stay in that hotel. We were like, oh, thank goodness, we don't have to stay there, or else we will be sharing rooms again.
Okay, let's see who. There's a few more people who has joined us this evening. With Corinne, hi Yiling, hello
Oh,
Lin
hi,
Man,
Yiling.
Chin Wei Ong, hi Li Ho, and Zah Rinpoche is here. Tashi Dalet, Zah
Tashi Dalet,
Rinpoche.
Zah
Thank you very much
Rinpoche.
for tuning in, Zah Rinpoche, and Caroline. And CKC, yeah. Well, thank you all for tuning in. So, yeah. So Sharon just shared with us a very scary experience in the Bintulu Hotel with the TV. Yeah, I think that would be quite freaky, when your TV does that. And mine did that too initially, but it didn't have that. It didn't have that bzzz, that kind
White
of
noise
white noise.
thingy,
It was just what do you call it? It was a power socket that was electrocuting.
Oh.
Yeah, that because they were playing with the power socket. I think I shared that
Yes.
in my very first few
correct.
episodes, and it was just to get my attention.
But I read in Rinpoche's blog as well
Yeah.
that one of the signs of spirits and all these happenings is electrical interference like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, either your light suddenly perfectly fine and it goes off, or you have electrical goods going kaput. Yeah, that's one of the signs, as far as I can recall.
Yeah. So they do play around just to get your attention. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So, okay. So, but of course, I'm not saying that all malfunctioning of your electrical equipment is because of paranormal activities. Me being a cynic, I will always test it out first,
Yeah, correct.
and then just investigate a little bit. Perhaps sometimes it is because your power socket or your electrical equipment is actually malfunctioning. Okay, so that's a disclaimer there. All right.
Yes.
So I thought I read about that. Okay. So, well, now that so if you ever go to a hotel with such an experience, now that you're in Kechara and you know how to pray, the Buddhist way, what would you do? Can you recommend that to our?
If I were to travel, which I will normally have a portable altar set up. I will bring my protector, Dorje Shukden, photo of my
The protector, is it a statue or
either a small. It depends on how much luggage space I have.
okay?
It's either an little maybe cha-cha.
Okay.
Normally I try not to bring statues because mine are quite delicate.
Okay.
So I will have my guru, and I will bring protector rice. Never leave home without it. Also my protector string,
Okay.
and yeah, those are my basics. And I will bring an electric candle for offering, light offering.
Okay.
You don't want to burn the hotels down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I basically will actually have a little corner. I'll clean it nicely or something. Then I will put it there, and then I'll run to the nearest convenience store if there's milk or drinks and all that. I will also, make a small, simple offering on my portable altar.
And what do you pray for?
I will pray for protection
Okay.
and maybe a peaceful stay. Maybe if I'm on a project or
Okay.
anything like that, no obstacles.
Okay.
Everything goes smoothly. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And for what would you recommend for those who don't have these miniature altar?
Actually, you don't need all this. All you have to do is actually get one of those little Dorje Shukden cards and all that. You just put it into your wallet, and if the need arises, just take it out. Or if you don't want to set up an altar, my recommendation, please carry the blessed rice or the protector knot.
What can you do with the blessed rice?
Okay, the blessed rice, if you feel that there's the energies are out of whack, heavy, and you have probably there's some unseen things that's going to disturb you, or you feel uneasy, you can take the rice, you can actually burn it, and then you recite Dorje Shukden's mantra, and then what you are doing is you're invoking the protector to come to protect you and also to bless the place and the beings there.
But the rice grains are very small though, so how
You can
hold it at the tip?
Yeah, you can. If you have incense with you, you
Uh-huh.
can put two incense stick, put the rice on top, and just burn it. You can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the protector rice?
Don't have protector rice. I think the easiest is still you have like a protector knot, right? Something like this.
That's a string.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So you have the string, and you can either wear it or on your neck, around your neck, or as like this, a bracelet kind of thing. So what you do is just burn and invoke the protector.
Burn
the knot.
the knot.
Yeah, there is a knot on all the protector strings, so you burn that knot. Or if you don't want string, there is also just the protector knot. Go to vajrasecrets.com. It's all there.
Okay, so if I don't burn it, would that still be okay?
It's okay. But I think it's more effective if you burn it and you recite your mantras.
Then I'm gonna have to get a lot of protectors.
But you don't
protector
really have, unless you keep getting visitations like every now
So
and
every
then.
time I travel, I have to burn the protector string in my room.
If you have presence and spirits, yes. But other than that, no. You can just wear it for protection.
Because I don't burn it. See,
I still
have
wear
it
it. I've not burned. I think so many years. I only burned once. That's it.
because it was very
Yeah, because
smoky?
I didn't have rice, I didn't have anything else, and I just burnt it, and I don't even remember where I burnt it, but it was, I just felt really uneasy, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna burn it. Then I just said my prayers, and the energies just come down. I think it was one of the hotels again, one of my holidays.
Okay. Well, if you don't feel like burning anything, then I usually just do my prayers.
Yeah, you
You
can.
know, just do your prayers, and like I said, doesn't matter which faith you're from, as long as you do your prayers with sincerity, because that's the intention that really matters. Because when the spirit looks at us, they'll actually see what's in our mind,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So they see what's in our mind, and that's why when we do the prayers with the intention, holding on to the intention of compassion and loving kindness, they will naturally calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the key here. It's the intention
Yes.
that truly matters. So it doesn't matter what prayers you do. And for those people, who don't have a religion, they are in some new age healing. They always say, oh, love and light, love and light.
Yes.
It's similar. Yeah. So again, it's how well we can focus on the loving compassion, loving kindness, and compassion, because there are certain malevolent spirits that even if you say love and light, that's not going to help.
It might not help.
It's not going to help.
Yeah,
That will aggravate them more, and that's where we need more potent mantras,
correct.
specifically to bless them and to repel them, especially if they are dangerous
Yes.
to us.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's very, very important. Okay, so not all, it won't work all the time. That's what I'm trying to say here. Unless you are such a practiced and realized, person in your own faith, then because you naturally reconnect with your authentic self, which is the loving kindness and compassionate natural self, then perhaps. But otherwise, when we're usually so distracted with so many things,
Correct.
you will be distracted with all your fear, and then trying to remember your mantras and trying to remember what love and light you're talking about because you don't practice it all the time. And when you are on an automatic mode, that's what happens.
Correct.
That's what happens. Because I do remember initially when I first joined Kechara, and and at that time I still encountered quite a number of spirits, and there were times that I forgot what mantra to recite because I was very new to Buddhism back then, and you go, oh no, what's that mantra again? So but because but now that we are advised to do our prayers every day, then when situations like this, and instead of panicking, you immediately just do your prayers,
correct.
because you're doing it every day and it's second nature. So that's very important.
It becomes like a habit, and then
It's a habit. It
comes easily. Yes.
So it can be just anything. Perhaps you met with an accident, or something happened to someone, and it's just very automatic that you just do your prayers instead of focusing on the fear and the shock and the panic, which usually we would, if we don't practice. So it's very, very important to do that. Okay, but for Sharon, she will burn her protective string.
Great believer of protector rice. But I guess JP is right. You do like a step by step. If it's a mild kind of incidents, it's not so. You can do your prayers first, and then if it gets, if that doesn't really work, you need something more potent. Then you burn the rice, the string, and all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now, then you told me that when after you've joined Kechara, you also continue to have a few experiences.
Yes.
Okay. So there's one that you experienced when you were in the office in Manjushri Hill. Okay.
In those days before Manjushri Hill became the guest house, it was our office, and there was a little corner that we had set up for us to do our daily prayers. And there were a couple of occasions I remember very clearly. As I was doing my prayers there, I felt this huge being behind me. In those days, we had a couch behind, facing the altar. So those 2 times I remember there was this huge being just watching me doing my daily prayers. It wasn't scary or anything, but I was just aware it was there.
Mm-hmm.
Until today, I still don't know what it is and all. It's huge, and I think it filled this. It is as big as this whole sofa, and it's got. It doesn't have a distinct shape. It was like a. Like that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like a. I don't think there's a yeah. It's just like that, like a. And it was like this. It was sitting like this on the chair, and I was in front there doing with my little my prayer book and all that, and I could feel the thing just looking at me doing my prayers twice. I never actually mentioned to anyone because I couldn't verify what it was and all
Mm-hmm.
that, but I knew there was something there.
Okay,
Yeah.
but nothing happened to you. You just felt a presence.
Yes, correct. It was just a presence. I until today I don't know what it is actually.
Okay.
I'm not sure whether any of my colleagues actually.
Do you
felt
still feel that anywhere in Kechara Forest Retreat?
the big same being?
Yeah,
No.
it was just that
That
two
office,
incidents.
yes. Different places in KFR had different things.
Okay.
Um,
So what was your other experience in Kechara Forest Retreat?
this happened about, like, let me see, about 2 years ago. You know, yeah, about 1 or 2 years ago. I
Okay.
was doing my circumambulation in
Yeah.
the evening.
Yeah.
It was almost night. I was at one of the Buddhas. Shall I reveal which one?
Sure, you can.
I was at
Nageshwaraja.
Nageshwaraja. Yes.
Okay.
And I was doing my circumambulation. And then there are some bamboo trees, right? As I was walking slowly towards the back of the Buddha,
Yeah.
I heard a distinct right into my left ear, because you know when I'm circumambulating, the bamboos are on my left. It went and I was like, initially I thought it was some kind of animal, so I continued my mantras and I was circumambulating again. And then the second round, it went even louder, and I was like, uh-oh, what in the world is that? That doesn't really sound like an animal. And I could feel a little bit of like the tiny thing. I was like, oh, okay. Then I was torn. Do I run now? Because I was a bit scared. I didn't know what it was, and it was like really high-ing me, you know.
High you.
Or do I continue the third round? I said, okay, I must finish my third round, you know. So I'm like, okay, I will concentrate. And I kept walking, and this time the ha was the loudest, and I was like, I power walked the rest of the way. Because the ha was, it was like, it really freaked me out. I had no idea what it was. And then I was like walking really, really fast. My heart was pounding like crazy.
Okay.
And then my kids came, my 2 boys came, and they saw like I was like a little jittery, and my kids went like, "Mommy, what happened to you?" You know, I told them like, I just heard something there, and I'm not sure whether it's an animal. Then my younger one said, "What is it, Mommy? How does it sound like?" I said, "It went like ha." Then he said, "Animals don't go ha like that, you know." Then he said, "Let me go check, you know." And the 2 of them actually went.
Okay.
And then I stood further away watching them, you know. And then as they came back, actually they were more cool than me. They said, "Yeah, Mommy, there was ha." The both of them heard the ha. And then I said, "So what is it?" "We don't know. It's definitely not an animal."
Was it in the same spot that you
Yeah,
heard
yeah.
it?
They told me it was the same spot. And I'm like, oh my goodness, okay. We shall not go there for the rest of the evening. We went somewhere else to circumambulate. But after that, subsequent days, whenever I wanted to go and circumambulate, I will do my prayers and do the visualization of Dorje Shulten and the shield across, and it works. No more ha.
No more.
The ha was really a bit. He was like into my ears. I'm like, oh my god. And
Do
for
you-
somebody who has hard of hearing, I heard it very, very distinctly. So it's not like anything, you know. It was like, like,
Okay, and do you know what it is?
probably some kind of being there who wants our attention
Okay,
and who probably wants blessing from the nice Buddha there.
and you happen to be there.
Yeah, and I happen to just be there.
Okay.
I think some spirits just want our attention, that's all. They will just like, sometimes they just charge you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Okay, before we continue, Chin Wei Ong, you said, so reciting Protector's Mantra alone, is it enough to ward off malevolent spirits?
It depends on the severity and how fierce or how evil the spirit is. But if you try that Doja Shukden mantra is not effective, or you can try the most ferocious mantra of Dorje Shukden, which is Trakze. You can try Om Benza Wiki Pitana Ratya Ratya Hom. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have that experience and you do it to that
Yes.
being.
Now, let me explain. If definitely mantras work, but it all depends on one's karma.
Yeah.
It's not, you see, because sometimes when our karma is so strong with a certain spirit, it may take a more potent mantra to repel them. So it really depends on one's karma. The protector mantra will work in general. Okay. Again, if for whatever reason, if the main mantra is not as effective, then definitely the Trakse, which is a wrathful version, you can try that. I have done that. I have recited Trakse on a few occasions on some very malevolent spirits, and immediately they repelled. They repelled. So so definitely it will work. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Now, if you are a Buddhist and you have a teacher and you have full faith and full trust in your teacher, when you visualize your teacher in your mind without reciting any mantra, that is just as good, because the spirit doesn't see. When the spirit looks into your mind, they don't see. They will see what you are thinking of. So when you visualize your teacher, your guru, okay, whom you have faith in, a very strong faith in, the spirit will see your teacher's mind. They will see your teacher, and because your teacher is well, he's a highly attained person, then he will calm down immediately. Okay, so it all depends. It all depends how much faith you have in your teacher, your spiritual teacher. Okay, that's another way. So you don't necessarily have to chant and all that.
Yes,
okay.
correct.
Of course, if you don't have a spiritual teacher, then definitely do prayers, because prayers are what do you call it? They are sounds.
Buddha in the form of sound.
Yes, they are the enlightened mind, or pure compassion in the form of sound, vibration. So because these spirits are in a formless realm, so definitely they will feel it. They will feel the vibrations of pure compassion, and that's where they will calm down. Definitely it works. Yiling asks, what would be the adequate reaction to a being that needs attention, as in the Ha spirit? What would be the adequate reaction to a being that needs attention, as in the Ha spirit?
I think we can just attention. I'm not at that level to actually confront the Ha spirit because I don't know what it is. So I actually chose to walk away from it because I'm not a highly attained lama or anybody. I'm not even a highly attained practitioner. At our level, at my level, I chose to walk away. But I think he knows or it knows that I know it's there. You know, most of the time they just want to know that want to let you know I'm there. That's it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But well, in the future, as I always suggest, there's no need to ask why are you here, who are you. Immediately do the mantras. Do recite your mantras or whatever prayers that you're used to doing, and after that, dedicate it to the spirit. Or when, as Buddhists, what we do is we will blow the energy
mantras,
towards them. Okay. Another way is this is. I can only relate this with the Buddhist practice. Okay. So what you do is when you are reciting, you if it's Doji Shugden, then you visualize Doji Shugden on top of your head, size of your thumb, or Shakyamuni or Kuan Yin, whatever mantra that you do in the size of the thumb sitting here, and then as you are reciting your prayers, you visualize billions and billions of the Buddha emanating towards the being, blessing the being. Visualize it as you are, and that's it. And that's it. Okay, so it's not necessary to talk to them and say, oh, you know, what are you high about? It's like, what's up?
Yeah.
No, we don't do that, because when we do that, then we will definitely create the karma for us to be even more connected to this specific spirit, and that's what we do not want. So you can actually just do that. So focus on the being and just do your mantras. Mantras, and then blow onto the spirit to bless the spirit. Yeah, Yiling. So and Yiling asks, why are some people more receptive to spirit energy than others?
It's because of our karma. Yeah.
Okay, so it's because of our karma. So some people will never see it or experience it in whatever ways. There are many ways of experiencing spirits. Either you see it, you hear them, you smell them, or you feel them.
Get touched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you see them in your dreams as well.
Oh yeah.
Right? They come to your dreams. They come to your dreams. Okay? But when they start coming to your dreams, it's not good news, because it is a form of a half possession, because they've actually entered you when you're sleeping, and when you're in the dream state, that's where they come and disturb you. So it's not good news. Yeah. So you have to be very, very careful with that. Okay? That's why it's very, very important to connect to our authentic self, which is loving kindness, and really practice that. Really practice loving kindness and compassion, and and if you if you do have a faith, if you do have a faith, then do your prayers before you sleep, and pray for protection if you're prone to have spirit disturbance. If you're prone to that. Okay, so I hope that explains. Chinwei Ong, thanks for the clarification, JP and Sharon. You're most welcome.
You're welcome.
All right, so moving along, we have, so that was Nugget for Raja. So you see, like I said in many episodes before, that spirits do gravitate towards holy statues, to holy sites, to holy beings. They do gravitate towards them, because they also want to receive blessings.
Yeah.
Okay, and when they're in that form, they are suffering. Okay, they take rebirth in the spirit, as a spirit, because of a very strong attachment to certain things when they were in the human realm, or even in other higher realms. So because of the attachment, then they take rebirth into that into the spirit realm, and they actually get to relive that attachment over and over and over and over again for thousands and thousands of lifetimes until their karma exhausts, and then they die in that realm and they take another rebirth. So that's why when they are close, when they gravitate towards, or any holy places, or a person, or a statue, that energy of compassion will give them a temporary sense of relief.
Relief, yes.
Yeah, and that's why they like to hang around those places. So for those of you who are very scared, this perhaps you can look into or empathize with them, because they are stuck. They really have no choice because of their previous lives, strong attachment. They just they're reborn, so they cannot help. So look at it, because they are not going to harm you per se. They're not going to, unless you have the karma to be harmed. So as spiritual practitioners, when we try to benefit beings, that it's not just about human beings, but animals and beings in the formless realm as well. Okay, formless realm. All right, so that's what we are taught, and that is to focus out on them.
Correct.
And not too much on our fear. Our fear is because it's our mind saying, oh, what are they going to do to me? Are they going to kill me or hurt me and all that? So most likely no, unless there are exceptions. So immediately focus on blessing them to relieve their suffering, because they are stuck and they cannot help themselves.
Yeah.
Right? So so don't be afraid, when you do experience the Ha spirit.
I was shocked.
Okay, so so focus on.
But I think the
blessing them.
knowing, when we arm ourselves with more knowledge, we tend not to be as fearful. Because before I joined Kechara, I used to be so terrified of the 7 month and all that. But after I attended
Why
classes,
were you terrified of 7 months?
7 months, you see things that you don't want to see, by the bus stop or at the roadside, at the junction and all that. You know how we grow up thinking, oh, ghosts, and it's like, it's out to get you kind of thing. But after reading and attending some classes, and I understood a little bit more why they are there, and why how much suffering they are experiencing in their. And instead of fearing them, I don't fear as much anymore. I still do fear. I will admit that when the heart, one of it, that was but because I know why they are there, and I sympathize. Is that the right word? Sympathize with them, and try to help them get out that kind of state by dedicating prayers and merits to them. And I've also explained it to my kids, my children, and they are not as fearful as before, because when they were younger they were totally terrified, because after I explained it to them and they understood, I hope, why the spirits are like that, they are not as scared. And
so that's why it's good that we have this paranormal program, so that we can share more, and then you understand. And it's not necessary to be fearful.
Correct.
So when we know more, then we will be able to not just help ourselves, we can also help these beings as well.
Yes,
okay,
correct.
So now and then you said that, talk about the 7 month, you were driving.
I was driving on Chamang Road,
outside of Kechara Forest Retreat.
It was one night, about 2 years ago, I guess. 2 years ago, I was driving along Chamang Road, coming towards KFR. It was quite dark, but thankfully I've got quite good vision, and I saw this lady in red walking by herself. And at first I thought maybe she's one of those villagers who live nearby here, you know.
Yeah.
As I approached and I looked again, she was gone. And at first I actually thought it could be a human. But somehow something told me it wasn't a human, and I just like, okay, never mind. Maybe it's just a passing spirit. After that, I just turned into KFR and went on my merry way. So that's one of the times I remember on the 7th month that I saw something on Chamang Road.
Well, the 7th month, which is the Ulaanbaatar festival,
Yeah.
or the Taoists call it the Hunger Ghost Festival. So it just ended yesterday, on the 16th. Today's the 17th, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it ended yesterday, and now it's the 8th lunar month.
Mooncake Festival
Yes.
month. Yeah.
So contrary to what the Taoists say, that the gates of hell are open, which I explained the last few episodes, it's not that because the gates of hell open and then all of a sudden there's an influx of these spirits invading the human realm. It's not that. It's because we are actually invoking them through all these burning of the paper, which other religions do. They burn paper.
Other beliefs.
It's not the paper per se, but it's because you keep thinking about them, and you want to offer food, your incense, paper,
Dreams,
whatever
yeah.
it is that you're offering. It's the intention of invoking them and inviting them. So what happens is they actually come out from wherever it is that they are wandering, be it in the jungle, be it in a home, or wherever. But because you're making offerings all over the place, that's why they come. So it's not because the gates of hell
correct.
open up. Okay, so just in case you have that that belief, because we grew up, we all we all grew up, and they say, oh, it's the 7th lunar month, come home early after work and don't stay out, because if your luck is down, they will come and they will disturb you, and you may have an accident, or you get spirit disturbance.
Actually, this Ulaanbaatar in those days, the imperial, the royal family in China, the emperor didn't want the citizens, because Ulaanbaatar is supposed to be a very auspicious and meritorious month. So the royal family at that time didn't want his citizens to reap the benefit or the auspiciousness and all that. So what he did was he actually created a rumor that it's a very bad luck month kind of thing. So that's how the story about this ghost month came about.
I see.
Yes. Yeah. So,
okay, I've never heard that story before.
Yeah, I actually read about it because it's quite interesting to see how an auspicious month became something like
That you're
to be
fearful of.
feared,
Yeah.
So because I wrote the article about Ulaanbaatar, so I did the research, and it made sense, because
Yes.
Ulaanbaatar traditionally is a very meritorious month. So in those days, the royal family didn't want anybody to enjoy any riches and good luck and good fortune.
Yes.
That's why.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't worry about 7-1, but definitely what you say is true. There is, if you're sensitive to spirits, you will definitely experience more of these paranormal activities. So the more so, we need to do our prayers for protection, and of course to bless them.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so Liho asks, holding on to the rule helps. We might panic, forgotten to chant the mantra.
Oh,
Definitely. So
rule.
the rule, which is an amulet,
Yes.
protective string,
Yeah.
a Buddha pendant,
Chakra.
a chakra,
Yes.
all that will work. Okay, but then again, like I said, it all depends on your karma.
Correct.
It all depends on your karma. If your karma is very, very strong, you still get The disturbance. Okay,
Yes,
that's what that you
correct.
have to trust me on.
Yes.
Okay. One last story. Okay, so now you told me that your dad had quite a number of stories, experiences because he was taking care of plantations
Yes.
in Malaysia. So there's one in particular, and that's in Malacca.
Malacca?
There's one in Malacca, the factory.
Oh yes, the factory one.
Yes.
Okay, that the factory one was before my dad joined the plantation.
Before, okay.
Okay, so this factory was producing certain electrical components,
Mm-hmm.
and at that point in time, my dad told me I still actually recall him telling my mom about this story. I was about maybe 4 or 5, and I like this kind of ghost stories, so I will actually eavesdrop. Oh, sorry, Dad. And so what happened was he said that every time the Malay girls go into a certain toilet there, she will just start screaming, and then when one of the girls scream, then the whole bunch of them will start screaming. It's like a mass hysteria going on.
Okay.
So they will scream and scream until one or two of them will faint, and they will bring them to they actually have like an in-house clinic where there's a qualified nurse there. So the qualified nurse actually checked them, and there was actually nothing medically wrong with them. So what was suggested that they seek help from Bomo, which is actually a Malay shaman.
Okay.
So apparently that there was a grave that is located just at the perimeter of the factory,
Okay.
and probably whoever's there was disturbing them, you know. And what the management of the company did was they held an interfaith prayer session where there's a Muslim imam, and then a Christian priest, and also a Buddhist monk,
yeah.
and all that. So after that prayer, there was no more reports of the mass hysteria happening anymore.
Did your dad say why there was a mass hysteria? Did they see something, or were they possessed?
Apparently, they were possessed.
They were possessed in the bathroom.
Yeah, some of them were, I guess.
Wow.
I mean, if there's a grave at the perimeter there, you know, and if the grave is being disturbed, it could mean that, you know,
That
the being there, these spirits are like humans. I mean, if you come and mess up my house or dirty my house, I might get so angry and upset, and you know, I just want you to go away. Some of the spirits can be like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So after the prayers, then
It was, yeah. Actually, the power of prayers in any religion, when the power of when the prayers are done well, with the right motivation, it is very, very powerful.
Okay. Then after that, there's one in Pahang.
In the Pahang,
In this estate.
in the estate, my dad, as a planter, he went to many plantations. He went from one plantation to the other. I remember once in this Pahang estate, there was a freak accident. They were at that point in time, they were trying to fell trees. Fell trees means they go and like clear the jungle, and most of them will need chainsaws. There'll be these big huge trees, so they need chainsaws, right? So at that point, in that project, two chainsaw operators died on the same day, trying to fell the trees. Then when my dad went to investigate, apparently they didn't do any prayers to appease the maybe the land deity or the spirits there, and that's why the accident happened. So after they did their prayers there, the project went smoothly. This reminds me of the other one when my dad was in Sabah as well. His contractor, who's also a family friend eventually, that project was, my dad was trying to build a big drain to drain the water because it was a low-lying land to drain the water towards the river. So for some reason, the tractor was just stuck there for a few days. So my dad asked his friend, did you do any prayers before you started your project, you know? It's been stuck for days there, you know. And his friend said, no, I didn't do anything. So my dad actually told him, why don't you do some prayers, you know? And he took my dad's advice. He did some prayers, and the tractor became unstuck and they could proceed without any accidents or incidents.
So stuck means that you couldn't start it. You couldn't start the
couldn't
tractor.
start, or it's just stuck in mud or whatever, you know, because low-lying land. I'm guessing that, you know, because this heavy machinery sometimes it's not easy to go on certain grounds kind of thing. Yeah, especially if it's like muddy.
Yeah,
it will get stuck there.
Yeah. I mean that's I've heard this a lot of times when I'm building as well in Kechara Forest Retreat, because many of the contractors, I noticed that before they start the project of moving the earth and whatever that they do, they actually do their own prayers, depending on what faith, but definitely they do prayers. And out of curiosity, I would actually ask them, okay, why is it? I'll ask them, I noticed that you would do these prayers, and they said, yeah, because initially they told me that they did not, but due to many incidences, and they said that when they were there were a few projects they did that they have to clear some trees, and again it was very freaky, because they either if they use a chainsaw, the chainsaw would not start. No matter what they do, but then when they're away from the area, then it works. But every time you walk towards it, it stops, and then they will bring these backhoe tractors. They'll drive there, and then it stops, and it just wouldn't start.
Yeah.
So from being a cynic, they just went and they just went ahead because the boss said, hey guys, you have to pray, otherwise they cannot start the project. It will be delayed. So out of commercial reasons, and they couldn't figure out why, they gave in. That's what they used to tell me.
Yeah.
And it's not just one or two incidents. It's everybody who worked in the construction line would actually pray.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so it's a norm. So it doesn't matter from what faith you're from, but that's what they say. They actually speak from experience, because there are nature spirits there, and whatever elements we are going in there, destroying that habitat.
Even nagas, right?
So nagas are in the Deva realm, or not Deva realm, they're in the animal realm, but they are
very powerful.
Yes. And there are nagas there, so definitely we will need to make peace, make amends with them, and do a prayer to ask them to excuse us. Okay, that's very, very important. Okay, so I think time is we've run out of time, but I've had a great session with you. Thank you so much again.
No problem.
For sharing with us. And before we say goodbye, I need to thank our sponsor. So today's sponsor, well, actually it was last Thursday. Last Thursday we did have a sponsor, but we missed it out, and it's an anonymous sponsor. Dedication, may more compassion, kindness to every sentient being. Take good care of Mother Earth. No more suffering, hunger, and fighting around the world. Thank you very much for your dedication. And there is another anonymous sponsor for today. Dedication, those who fear spirits and etc. hope they will find peace through this sharing. That's very nice.
Yes.
Thank you very much once again for joining us. And again, if you do have any friends or family members who would do this and actually learn from it, do share with them. And you can always click like at our fan page, so that every time when we have any notification, you will be alerted. Okay, and if you do have any questions along the way, please feel free to leave it under the comment section. All right, so have a great week ahead, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.